Ready?
Because we're live now.
Are you ready?
Live.
Yeah, are
and
you
live.
ready, Nitri? Are you ready, chat? Welcome to the Late Sesh.
Who's ready?
Powered by, what is that? Oh, shit. Never mind. I was thinking of the Idiocracy drink. It's not Gatorade, but it's a knockoff. Brondo. Powered by Brondo, guys. Brought to you by Brondo tonight. Brondo's our sponsor. Get you some Brondo.
I had never seen that movie before until the other day.
Yeah,
I found out. Fun fact.
The Crocs.
I think I said that. Yeah, the Crocs are in that movie before Crocs were popular.
I think that's what made him want to watch this.
That's exactly what made me want to watch it. I never heard of it, and I was like,
until I said it the other night.
No, I think we talked about it another time before that, or
something. So, like in the recent years, you discovered Idiocracy?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I just watched it the first time the other day.
Oh wow, welcome. Yeah. Welcome to reality, because it's a movie about
how scary
reality.
They predicted the future with that fucking movie.
We are in the future. Cheers, Daddy Red.
Yeah, cheers. Oh, I gotta get my chat up.
Welcome to the future.
And then I'm gonna switch it to live chat.
Brought
to you by Brondo. Everything.
Tara, can you show me that little jar again?
Oh yeah, I can. Sorry, it's right. It's pouring. Our reception's a little bad.
Can we smell that? What does it smell like?
Gremlin.
Super gremlin.
What is it? What's it? I got
super good.
I love this. Chunky.
Whole jars for
creamy, us. Fruity, and gassy.
It's gassy. It's very, very gassy. It's very food terpy. It's definitely like meat breathy, meat glue. It's very good. I think we're frozen. Darn it.
No, you're not
frozen. Losing it.
Yeah,
no.
You guys were.
Nope. Oh, yeah, yeah, that can happen.
Storming down. Good on this side.
Well, that's good.
We got storms here too.
Yeah,
we got rain.
Too. I like the rain. I don't have to water my garden.
It was a nice rain. We went and sat in the greenhouse and smoked a doobie when it first started.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Got a nice spot to sit outside now. It's kind of like a little sunroom.
Yeah.
Well, when it's raining, it's a cloud room, but it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Until we got out and wanted to go in the house and had to run across the yard in the rain. But that's what umbrellas
are fun of it. I had to dump pots the other day at Harvest in the rain. I actually enjoyed it.
I just frown at the rain if I have to walk through it. I just frown at it.
I thought about that, but then I was like, you know what? When I was a kid, we go out in the rain.
So do we. Unless there's lightning, then we weren't allowed. But if there was no lightning.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just treated it like that. I was like, this is kind of nice.
I was cutting grass the other day and it started raining. I was going, this is kind of nice. And it was just like a nice little rain. And I got, I got most of the grass cut with it raining. And then it really started to come down. And I was like, all right, I'm going to stop cutting the grass in the rain. It's not good for the lawn. I don't want to crack a block or something.
I just hate when the raindrops get on my glasses. Like that's the one thing I don't like about rain. So my trick is take them off. And then I'll go out in the rain.
I was thinking automatic wipers, but
that'd be cool too, but a little more high tech.
Yep.
Invented.
Very situational to have some
umbrella hats. What about the umbrella hats?
There you go. Umbrella.
I really dig those. I think that was a great invention that gets underrated.
It's perfect for
great.
Perfect. With
invention of what, like the 70s or 80s?
Huh.
Or was it an invention out of Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice had an umbrella hat.
No, it was way before that.
Beetlejuice is a good movie.
Oh, that's 3.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, you guys fucked up.
I'll do it all. I'll do as I did the other day. Beetlejuice.
Oh wow.
Fucked up, pig.
Oh wow.
Don't go
I think it'd be fun to hang out with them, so it's actually not fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, when you got but see, you don't have you got to get that miniature village of.
Oh yeah,
in your,
it's Little Jackson.
Yep, Little Jackson. You can pop up in it.
Don't go digging around in your pots. You might find Little Jackson down there.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't had a very great season in my garden for most of my. Like I usually have a really good year for tomatoes, really good year for cucumbers, but neither one did well for me this year. But like
What do you mean? Like
usually,
yield?
huh?
Yield or
Yeah,
health?
yield,
Oh, okay.
and health, honestly. But
Yeah.
honestly, the tomatoes are healthy. They just don't. They're not. I don't know. They're not producing like they did last year.
It's been super cloudy here.
Did you do the same?
Even when it's
same
supposed
everything?
to be, the smoke just has it. I don't know. I think it might be the smoky haze.
Oh, that's a good
That's
point.
a good point. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, with my potatoes this year are rocking. So I'm pretty much.
I don't know how they had a potato famine. Because potatoes are supposed to be easy to grow.
That's why this is my first year growing them, and I got purple
I'm gonna Google that.
There's a bigger conspiracy around that if you look into it.
Oh, let's hear it.
They had to. I just saw something about it. They had to ship out all the other food, and they only had potatoes or something. And you should.
Oh, the reason that Ireland's
Great Famine was caused by failure of potato crop. That's what I'm saying. A disease called late blight destroyed the leaves and edible roots of the potato plants. Blight will do that.
Different.
I was listening to a fictional story, and they had blight totally take out their crops. So
that's talking about something different. I'm just talking about the potato being a symbolism there because they were kind of like the potato was like their main diet for a really long time. And there's history that says that there's a reason for that, and then there's history that says that there's another reason for it, and that was because all of their other main crops were exported rather than them importing more food. They just,
so wouldn't they have potatoes?
They had potatoes. They exported everything else.
And then there was a year where it was really bad or whatever.
So all their meat got
like a blight came.
And then a blight came, and then they basically had famine after that because all they had to eat was potatoes. Everything else was exported away. So
that's kind of that's kind of what we do. We import everything.
I just saw a video about how do you say her name? Who just passed away? That singer.
I don't know. Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sinead O'Connor wrote a song about it. That's what it was. Sinead O'Connor wrote a.
Is that how you say her name?
Poetic.
I don't know.
Yeah, Sinead O'Connor.
About it.
I've always wondered.
A limerick. I don't know really what to call it. It's certainly poetry, but and it's in a song and rhythm, instrumental, and she kind of just speaks behind it artistically.
That's what I said.
Interesting song, interesting lyrics, interesting whatever story is, whatever truths are behind it. She speaks of it. It's her homeland, so I'm sure she would know way more about it than I would. Probably many of us would.
Yep. Oh, you're muted, bud.
I was gonna ask you, Baked. Have you decided if you're gonna actually do any reversals with your outdoor? Or are you calling that quits and just gonna flower those out?
I mean, I think I might spray it, but every tutorial I looked up said you need to spray the day before you throw it into flower, so it might not work. I don't know.
And with all the rain,
but that's the thing. I have to wait till I know there's at least 2 or 3 days of no rain because it says it'll wash it off. So that's the other thing with this Florida type peninsula bullshit weather. It's just it can rain for literally 3 seconds or all day, or any combination in between. So
that's Michigan, man.
Yeah, we'll see. But I got everything ready. I got beakers and glass stir rods and glass spray bottles.
We've had a lot of rain lately. I'm
Glass
bummed that we don't
funnel.
have
This year was a lot of rain. I
rain
haven't really watered much at all, to
before.
be honest.
I'd be full on water supply, that's for sure. I don't have to water. We don't have to water the garden very much at all. Right? It just doesn't require much water. But
once it's at its point now.
Mainly because we've had so much rain. But yeah, we still need to do a lot of work to fill up all those barrels with water. So I don't know if that's going to be in the cards before. Like I feel like by the time we get it done, we're not going to need it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the time we get it done, it's going to be fall rain season. The garden's going to be getting put down to bed, and there's nothing really going to be water over the winter. So we'll need it in the springtime, and it'll be winterized. And here in Michigan, we have to winterize all of our outdoor stuff. No wetty, will freezy, break seals. Don't like that, and piping. So it's a big thing about water and freezing temperatures. It expands and breaks stuff. So us up here in the mitten, we have to close down shop, all that stuff, winterize. That is kind of a benefit, I suppose. I thought about that often. I was like, man, I spend so much time like putting stuff away in the fall and then bringing stuff back out in the springtime. If I live somewhere where there's like, all year
just be able to grow year round. Can you imagine?
Grow year round. You could have your shit just always out. You don't have to put shit away for winter. But then I thought, man, then you got to deal with like scorpions and like crazy.
If you live close to the equator, though, I mean, your flower room is the whole outdoors.
Well, they say I might have been rehearing this in a dream, but I heard this was something like 2030 or 2050 we'll be able to grow citrus up here in Michigan, putting us in like zone 10.
Oh yeah.
In like zone. But when I moved out here in Ypsilanti and started growing, I was looking at my ag zone.
30 years from now, I'm going to be pretty old, man.
5A.
It will be old and warm.
Zone 6. We've already jumped a whole zone and a half.
That was what we talk about.
So, yeah, another 20 years. 10, 20 years, we could be growing citrus up here. But I think my first thing is star fruit. I'm going to grow some star fruit. And, yeah, I want to grow star fruit really bad. Probably pineapples, lime trees.
What if in 30 years you don't have teeth, so it might be a different choice?
Jobracabra.
Something you can mash up.
He better have teeth in 30 years. He's not that old.
Never know. Never know.
Eat good.
They've already made something.
I'm 48 and I'm working on knocking a few out next week. So.
They're already making strides, and they're saying that soon we'll be able to regrow our teeth.
Oh, that'd be so sick. I've always not liked the fact that they deteriorate, but there's nothing that can replenish them. It's like, oh, that's just a death wish right there. So, like, reminds you you're dying. So that's cool.
Yep.
They also say that we're gonna be able to like live longer too and stuff.
Well, cool, because I'm going for at least 100. That's my first milestone.
Would you guys, if you met a nice vampire, would you guys get bit?
Yes.
Knowing that you'll live forever.
I've already thought about it.
You have to no sunlight. You have to feed on blood.
I've thought many hours
human
on that.
blood even. Okay, yeah, I would too. I think it would be so cool to be 1,000 years old.
Wait a second.
And watch everyone you love
So
die.
you become a vampire?
No, because you should hang out with other vampires.
You love more a bunch of times. And
you just live forever. You have to have
this
all
is like the basis of all the movies. They're always sad. The vampires are always
in the movies.
That's bullshit because those are weak-minded.
Have you ever met a vampire? No, because they're still happy, having fun right now in real life.
Whatever, man. You find me one and we'll talk.
I want to see what happens.
They're too smart.
So,
they're 1,000 years old.
I'll take it.
What?
Well, it's not immortal, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not immortal. It's what do they call that?
Well, immortal means you can still be. Does it mean you could be killed, but you just won't die of natural causes?
Yeah, there's one that you can still be cool. Yeah. What is it? I gotta look it up now.
Yeah, invincible, I think means.
Yep, there it is, right? Immortal versus invincible. Invincible is like Superman, and then immortal is you can still die, but you live forever. Yep.
I thought invincible was just you can't be killed, but you still have a finite amount.
According to this comic book, Quoria, to be invincible means that you cannot be defeated. To be immortal means that you will not naturally die, but you will live forever. You can be immortal without being invincible. You
But
can be
could-
invincible, but
could you
still
still
subject to
die?
natural death.
But
Like
could
an
you
elf
die-
in the Lord of the Rings.
But
They
is
live
there
forever unless
natural
they're
death in being invincible? You know, it says you can't be defeated, but could you die of natural causes?
Well, like it just said there, you can be invincible but die of natural causes like
Oh, okay,
age.
so you can still die.
So like Superman does have an age limit, I'm pretty sure. That
Right,
his people get old,
Yeah,
Kryptonians. But yeah. Good to know.
But if you're like Wolverine, you regenerate. Then what?
Wolverine, I think, lives forever and has regen. But if you take him out in one big vaporizing laser beam or blast, he's done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd have to
So
blast
he's
him.
not technically. Whereas, like, an
He could-
invincible person would be able to, no matter what, stand in that laser beam.
But you'd have to like nuke him. You'd have to vaporize every one of his cells because he can
Yeah,
go
that's what
down
I'm saying. It'd
one
have to be
cell.
completely, yeah.
What about
That's
the
what they
liquid
say.
Terminator from Terminator 2 as an AI?
The what?
Liquid
The
Terminator from
The
Terminator
metal guy?
No, that's
Metal
just scary shit, bro.
as AI.
There was something about that guy that they said it's like one of the scariest villains.
Like, yeah, like he can't. Like, how did he die? He can't die,
They
right?
put him in lava.
They put him in the lava, but even still, like, what if it's
Well, you melt
what if
lava
it's
or
AI?
metal.
Yeah, what if it's an AI and it somehow is able to regenerate from another antenna or so, you know, from another.
Oh, like transfers consciousness Wi-Fi. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have. Well, that's the thing. When that movie came out, cell phones, Wi-Fi, and all that weren't really prevalent.
Right.
So they didn't even have that whole key fact. Could you imagine if they had all that? It would have thrown the world for complete chaos.
Oh,
People would have
imagine
watched that
that.
movie and be like, "Oh fuck!"
Just
and just thrown out computers, burned down cell phones.
bro,
That
bro, my
movie.
mind goes to even worse. Like, if you see what's going on in the Ukraine war, what they're doing with drones over there. Imagine drones with AI. That's scary shit, man. They're talking about like swarms of drones with AI that can fly in swarms. You
Yeah,
can't
to
shoot
do
enough- you can't-
fireworks shows.
Yeah, you can't shoot enough missiles at it. Someone can get through, and that's what's going on in Ukraine.
Dude, that movie.
I think we can shoot.
I was young enough when.
Bro, you tell that to Ukraine.
Well, Ukraine doesn't have our anti-air. We have crazy AI anti-air these days.
Ukraine has 3 Patriot systems from the United States.
All right. If we're giving something out, we have something better usually.
Oh, believe me, it's not
And
giving.
we're not holding on.
Oh, believe me,
We're
it's
selling
not
or
giving.
giving.
Yeah, it's selling.
Yeah.
I'm for sure it's going to be selling. They're saying it's all worth these huge packages, but they're not saying that it's all just giving. I don't know. I think there's things attached.
Oh yeah,
No
because there's.
bullets, no
Yeah.
Band-Aids.
I'm not gonna get into that. That's
Let's do a
straight
dab.
politics.
Let's do a dab.
Do a dab.
Yeah.
Dab.
It's almost hunting season. Let's do a dab to more bullets and Band-Aids.
I saw 2 deer sucking its mom's tits the other day. In the
I
backyard.
think the word is teats.
Teats, whatever. I think they're spelled the same.
No, they're not.
No?
Tits and teats, that's 2 different spellings for sure.
Oh, not how I spell it.
How do you spell it, bro?
T-I-T.
Okay, how do you spell teat?
T-I-T.
It's T-E-A-T.
Oh, I see where you're going with that, like a beat.
T-E-E-T.
Or T-E-E-T,
Oh,
yeah.
T-E-E-T. Like a
Yeah, I've been
teats without an H.
T-A-T.
I never was good at
It's
spelling.
like it's spelling treat. It's like treat without an R.
Treat, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh, don't.
What happened? What
I don't know.
Do we have an injury?
Might have a dab injury.
Sound like a burn.
Yeah.
Sound like a burn out.
Yeah, I touched my banger and I should not have. It really.
Oh, I hate that.
Up there.
I know I grabbed it.
It might have tipped over. Her ball is on the dab plate.
Where is it?
Is it hot?
Oh, I hate when my ball's on the dip.
No, it's not hot at all.
No, I'm missing my pearl. Stop.
No, that wasn't on there.
No, did it knock over?
No.
I really hurt myself.
I don't know where your pearl is.
Caveman says he woke up to a bird in his bed and $3 out my bedroom window.
What, we fucking live in the forest?
You need to close that window, man.
Yeah. Or buy screens. But he's a caveman. He could be in a cave.
Oh, that's an excellent point. I didn't even consider that.
Then that would totally make sense. His bedroom window is just the forest.
Yeah, for sure. $3.
I got half. I took a dab or a CBD and it snapped me out of a dab nap. I think it works.
Was it just straight CBD dab? Okay.
I was sitting right here. This is probably what I look like. I don't know. This will give you guys a good view, but it's usually like this. And I grab one of these because I don't want to go turn the lights off way over there. And I fucking put it like that. That way I can't see the light.
I like that.
And I was falling asleep and I said, you know what? I bought these dabs for a reason. Let me somehow get up. I forced myself over there and I took a CBD
like, how
dab.
How can I take more dabs? Oh yeah, I can take some CBD.
Yeah, and it worked. And then I got more productive and got a bunch of shit done, like joining that Pathfinder group. So I think it works.
Well, I lost my pearls. I don't know what happened to my pearls. One time, Tara found one on my ground.
I'll come over and find it.
I think I must. So I lost another one. The same one that I lost again. And I vacuumed the floor. So I think now it's got to be gone. But now it's just not in there. My other pearl is just gone. So kind of sad. It was there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have got.
I hate that.
I haven't seen it. I haven't touched it.
I said I didn't move. I was sitting right here the whole time.
I thought the OG might have knocked it over, but I haven't put it.
You haven't picked it up?
I haven't picked it up. The OG definitely hasn't picked it up. He would knock it over and just go, just keep walking.
And I burnt myself.
Yeah,
so.
Rusty might have been soaking in alcohol too. I checked the alcohol area. She said she doesn't take it out, so it's always in there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you burnt yourself.
I'm just dumb, and I went to go grab it right after I turned the lights off.
That's like when I burnt my fingers on the Terp sous vide at Yeti's house. I was just like, how fucking dumb could you be? But it was because the dab I did before had a longer neck on it, so I had a better, I could grasp it better. And the one that I put on was a shorter one, so I didn't get a good grasp. And off went them fingerprints.
I did that working at the bakery one time. Did this big butter melter. It had a big metal lid on it with a hinge in the middle. My dumbass just grabs that handle and to pick it up to see if the butter had melted yet. And hell yeah, it had melted and it was boiling. And when I lifted that thing up, a big fucking cloud of heated oil came up and burnt the living daylights out of this part of my arm. That was not a fun time.
Well, the bad thing is you know, when you grab something hot, you don't really drop it. You're like, you're like stupid about it.
Or it sticks to you, yeah.
And I didn't want to burn anything else, so I was just like, what am I gonna do with this shit? So I just let it keep burning me. Live and learn.
I learned to get good and not burn myself in the titanium nail days. The red hot metal ones. That's a burn you really don't want. And I learned quick.
You always get one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's about it. One or two of those, and I don't burn myself. I got these wide angles when you're going around the rigs and the hot stuff. That way you know you ain't getting burnt.
That's why you're always walking around like that when I'm around, because you're on
Yeah, oh, but Jesus, no.
the house.
We are always taking dabs, but.
Can I use this kind of pearl in a blender? Or will it not work so well?
I think it should work.
Will it fit horizontally?
No, don't
Like,
do
in
that.
there.
Do you think? Yeah, where it would spin horizontally, because
Oh,
Put it
if
up.
not, it's gonna go.
It's supposed to be a filler, so.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be a skinny pillar.
I
Yeah.
think it would probably work, but I don't know if it's going to be like good for your
Test
bang.
it with a dry hit.
Let's see.
Let's see.
It didn't do anything.
Oh.
It just sits in there like a.
Did you put a tap on it?
Just sits in
You gotta
there.
put a tap on it to make it go.
A what?
It's like the
A
last
dab?
good
Barb
punch
tap
on
on
the
it.
bottom of the box.
I did,
It's just
yeah.
stuck there, and you're like trying to get out of the box.
It kind of goes a little.
You
I'll
look
try
in the
it.
box.
I
from that
it
last
should be
good
up and
punch,
down myself,
pops in
but
there, hits you in
you
the
can try.
eye.
There's one more drop. One more drop.
It kind of goes in there like.
But then it's the good and plenty that tastes like anise anyway, and you're like, I don't like.
I wouldn't have thought you had enough space to get it in there like that. Okay.
Ways.
Might work.
Terrible. I would rather eat the
I don't
fruity
like
good
it.
ones if I could choose.
Ooh, I like good and plenties, especially the licorice ones are my favorite.
No, the black licorice.
Yes, I love
Hey, that's the last one that fell on the ground. I was like, good. It's whatever. It was.
I love the black licorice. Oh, love it.
I like it too.
You know, that's funny. And that's one thing, honestly, I can taste that a lot in flour and in hash is I'm always like, oh, that tastes like licorice. That's like licorice all the time. I'm like, that's licorice.
So they usually will say anise if they're being
Anise,
fancy.
yeah.
Fruity.
I thought it was anise.
Or anise.
It could be anise.
It could be.
Anise.
Yeah. That is just terrible. My spelling and now my speaking. Damn.
Everybody pronounces things a different way.
Yeah.
I know. I can't remember what it was on the Cheap Home Grow. I had said something, and Jack pointed it out that it was a Midwest thing. What was it? Oh, I said from the get. I said from the get. He goes, I heard you say from the get. I'm just going to explain to people what that means. I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody knows what that means. He's like, no, that's a Midwestern thing.
Is that from the start?
Yeah.
That's what I've always assumed. Okay. Yeah, but it definitely is a thing up here.
From the get-go. It's short for
exactly, from the get-go.
Yeah, from the get-go. Okay, that makes sense.
From the get-go?
Not
get-go.
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 G-E-T-O. The get-go. To get it up and going.
Get what up and going?
It.
Oh.
What are you doing, Baked?
It.
What? I'm reading rules.
Yeah, I was just saying. Well, you are engrossed in something right now.
Yeah, I'm reading rules for that. I got 24 hours to prepare, so I'm trying to look through the chat too and see. There's a chat. I'm trying to see what the party's already made of.
So to clue everybody in, this is a Pathfinder, online Pathfinder thing that Baked has joined.
Yeah.
Did you join as Baked Pwn? Is that your character name, or did you make up a cool name?
No, my character will have a cool name. Yeah, my character will have a cool name, but my name in there is my name, and then it's Baked Pwn because you can have a nickname.
Cool.
But yeah, I joined a session for tomorrow, so I have to prepare and imaginate a character in the 24 hours or less with a complete backstory and everything. So.
You want to use Bard? That's what I would use.
No, I'm gonna whip it out with my brain. And honestly, I don't know. I think I'm going simple. Like I told you, I'm gonna pick one of the commons, and then pick like wizard, sorcerer. I don't know, one of the magic people.
Why don't you pick Goblin Alchemist like you want to be?
Goblin Alchemist would be sick.
I know.
And I mean, it all depends too of what the other. There's already I'm the
No,
fifth
you
player,
can't.
so
You
there's
can't.
already 4 players.
No, there's no metagaming. You can't talk to the other players.
They
and
want
see what
us
they're
to.
all
They want
playing.
us to. They
Oh,
want
they
us to.
want you
The
to.
other players are already.
That's what
What?
he's saying. That's what
You know
he's
what?
saying.
Sometimes they don't want you. Sometimes they don't want you to. They want you to naturally make your character without talking to each other, and then it's just whatever mishmash fuckery. You all show up as clerics, and you guys don't do anything for damage, but you can heal for days, so you're never dying.
Just outlast them.
Yeah, or like just stuff like that. Or you're all fucking barbarians, and all you can do is just smash stuff up.
DPS.
So like it can lead to fun stuff, but these ones they're like ours. They're collabing first to make sure there's a decent party. But
So have you found out? She asked you from the. You didn't even answer the question from the get. She
what was the
asked you.
question?
Do you know what the other characters are yet?
No, that's what I'm trying to find out right now. That's what I was looking
okay.
at. The Discord. So they're not like I don't know if they're level 2 or they might be level 2, but they're like there's a prologue type part of the story that they finish. So I'm starting right at the beginning of the dungeon.
Oh, I see.
So I have to look through this chat or ask them, which I did, and I'm waiting. But look through the chat history because I'm impatient to see like did anybody say what they are yet? You know. But,
did you just rip that off, Fred, or did that come off?
Is that the blender?
Yeah, the blender.
The bottom fell out.
Oh my God! This is the most terrible day for glass.
It's a bad.
I'm scared to do this dab, but
oh my gosh!
cheers to Nut Tree. Happy birthday!
I lost.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's Nut Tree's 37th birthday got today, everybody. So do a dab for him.
37.
And
that's what happens.
37.
When your blender's red hot. You
37
on those things, and when you get it,
I'm blushing. I'm blushing.
Your welds are getting red hot, and your welds are weakening, and that falls apart.
I worry about that. It hasn't happened to me yet.
I've made small suggestions here and there, like you shouldn't get that red hot, but
yeah.
Everyone always burns their banger.
They shouldn't, though. They shouldn't. It's gonna break.
Yeah, it's not good. Ask any glass person. It's not good for it, but it's like as long as you didn't spend $1 million on the banger, who cares?
Right.
It was like $15.
$21.
That's what I'm saying. Well, $15 bangers. Exactly why it's in 2 pieces right now. I recommend between $30 and $50 range usually.
Well, this is a 35 one that I got for 21 on sale.
How long does it last?
Well, I just got it with the
Oh,
new
that's
raid.
that new one you got?
I have every single one of these I bought, though. I haven't broken one yet. I've just got them real dirty.
Bangers are meant to be broken.
Well,
yeah.
Broken more glass than I have bangers lately. Ooh.
So I went out to dinner tonight to a steakhouse and had a ribeye steak with some scalloped potatoes and a salad bar. Very
How
good.
was it cooked?
Oh, it was medium.
Nice.
We actually almost got the tomahawk. We talked about.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I looked at him, I was like, you want to split one of these? And then I was like, I don't think I can eat that much meat. So maybe not.
How much do those ones weigh?
It was 40 ounces.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't think I can eat that much meat at all. I can usually only eat a few bites of steak.
Yeah, that's like 2 full T-bones.
Half of it.
Yeah, I got salmon. So
the salmon was good too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Those are 2 great options.
Yummy.
Surf and turf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of how we plan our meals nowadays. He gets something that I would like, and then I get something he would like, and then we just share.
Nibble off each other's plates. It's the best way to do it. That's the way I like my brunches. Yes, let's have some waffles and some biscuits and gravy, and throw in a mimosa and a Bloody Mary. You know what? That French toast sounds pretty good too.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys got Western omelets? That sounds great. Let's all split those.
Yeah.
Brunch sounds fun.
Sounds great. It's tasty. I love brunch.
Yeah.
Underrated, or maybe it's not, but
I always have a hard time making up my mind what I want. I always want like a couple things, so I have a real hard time at restaurants.
Let's have brunch sometime for Goalie.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm down. I'm down. There's no good brunch places anywhere near me, but I know there's a bunch around the Metro Detroit area. I'm sure they're all over, but
that place that we ate with Painted Lady and Sequence and like Kitchen People.
Oh yeah, that was
the
really
Kitchen
good.
People, I think it was called.
If it's the same place I went with them, that's fucking
hands
awesome.
down waffles, chicken and waffles I've ever had in my whole life.
Yeah, it was
oh,
really
nice.
Yeah, and it was like
They have a pretty good theme.
Shaking the whole
Almost
desk.
hip hop and rap type theme.
It was really cool.
It was pretty cool.
Kitchen People in Lansing, right?
I think so.
I think so.
I can think of one in it's like Hall Road or M59 in like Hayes or Shane or something like that. It's like in a plaza and it's very unsuspecting. I can't think of the name of it, but they have got a wild menu of like lemon tart stuffed waffles and just like, you know, fruity pebbles coated French toast or dipped French toast and all this. Yeah, just wild stuff like that. And I love me some sweets. You know, I love the savory too. That's why I like the assortment of things. But I don't know. I like those kind of I mean, I'll say it, like the hipster type restaurants or brunch places that just go wild with their menu and put these flavors together that are so unsuspecting and don't sound good to me at all, but then I eat it and it's almost always delicious.
So that's what this place actually upstairs is the more fancier restaurant, and then downstairs is more hip, and they got like a mellow mushroom type feel where the pizza fired stone, like a oven where you put the pizza in the fired stone oven type deal, and it's pretty good too. It's a local spot. It's the only spot really that's any good that's to go to in town here. So it was good. It was good fun.
I had a friend that shared one with me in Kalamazoo, and I want to say it was like just north of downtown Kalamazoo and sort of like in a neighborhood, and you had to go like up a staircase, I think maybe inside. It was like all on the second floor or whatever. I will never remember the name of it. Maybe someone in chat will, but that was another good brunch spot.
I like a good donut shop.
Yes.
If I had to pick one meal, I would take breakfast any day. Breakfast foods over anything.
I think I could do that.
I'm not big on breakfast food, like pancakes and French toast, but I
would destroy some pancakes.
But I love biscuits and gravy.
I love biscuits and gravy.
If you were looking
you like that
look at the shirts, look at the shirts. Twinsies.
We'd always see breakfast items in the fridge always for me too. I like breakfast.
Oh gosh, he has to have breakfast, otherwise he's a grumpy butt.
I had a good friend come over to my house when I used to live in Chicago, and he opened my fridge and he's like, "Why do you have all this breakfast food in here?" And I'm like, "Because I like breakfast any time of day."
Dude, bacon and sausage always on hand. Of course, eggs now always on hand.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm like not very creative with my egg dishes, so he does all the eggs usually these days. Because I'm just like a scrambled egg and cheese type of girl. Like I just like it super plain. But he'll make them good with all kinds of good things. Pepper.
Yeah, you could throw.
I love how she looks out in the distance, like memories of food going through her head, like all kinds of good things. And I guarantee in the next few days, Red's making breakfast.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You can throw just about any vegetables in there. Always a lot of pepper, like fresh pepper. Ugh.
And it's good. I didn't
throw it.
Sweet onion, never red onion.
What I love to do is after you do whatever you want with your eggs, is I like scrambled dough, and because it makes it easier, and I put them in a wrap, like a tortilla, and then I fucking fry that. Oh, it's so good.
That's crazy.
Mrs. Fergoli's been making me some breakfast burritos, and they're freaking bomb. I don't know. You must be using like a pepper jack cheese or habanero cheese or something like that. Yeah, make it a little.
Yeah, but if you take
jalapenos.
those breakfast burritos and then you just fry them in a little butter on both sides, just for a little bit.
I think she throws it in the toaster oven. But
okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it gets a little crispy. That'd be my dad's route though. He would always take like croissants and fry it with anything in between it. She'll take Mrs. Frigoli's baked spaghetti and blew my mind one year hunting. And it's baked spaghetti inside of a fried croissant, guys. Oh.
Carb overload, but it would be amazingly good.
Hey, for those days where you're sitting up in a blind at 34 degrees and it's snowing and you ain't gonna move for 8 hours, like it's not bad.
I love when I went to Paris is like when I really got into croissants because that's like all they have for breakfast. I swear at every place you get a croissant and some jam or something. And I started making that at home and it's just they're so good, so delectable.
I love that all those light pastries or whatever you want to call that. Same thing with like puff pastry. Same thing where it's like the layers. God, it's such good stuff.
Buttery.
You must like flaky biscuits.
Of course.
Yeah, I prefer not flaky.
Like you like the southern style, like
thick.
Yeah, with biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Like biscuits and gravy.
Somebody out
do that with flaky
butter
biscuits.
on there.
Yeah, those are good. I like them all.
Yeah.
I like pretty much all biscuits.
I like when they make cinnamon twists. It's just like dough and cinnamon sugar. That's pretty good.
That's really good. Like the donut.
I guess but you can do it without frying it. You can bake them.
Well, you could do it without frying it if you wanted to do it wrong. Yeah.
At your house, maybe you don't have a fryer.
So there's a lot of different words.
Do you have a pan? Do you have some oil? Come on, I don't have a fryer.
Oh man,
I gotta go get a specific machine to just fry
I've never fried
oil.
anything that method. That seems like a messy method.
You could get a small little pan. You don't even got to use a big pan, and you could fry shit in it. You just gotta get oil hot. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, I guess so.
I forget what the name of
like
it
that.
is. There's a lot of. I think my southern great aunt used to call it sticky buns, but I found a recipe recently that just is very easy, and I have no idea how similar it is to hers. But you just go get the pre-made like dough, like the rolls. They're like an orange bag in the freezer section at your grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You just basically, I mean, I'm sure you like coat the pan with butter, but put them in like a 8x8 or a 9x13 pan, and then you just slather the ever living crap out of it with butter and brown sugar and cinnamon, and you bake that thing. And dude,
that sounds good.
It's so good.
What's really good too is you've had monkey bread, same kind of deal, but they're like little. They're like little dough balls, and you put them all in there like little pebbles. And when you pull it apart, you just pull it apart, and it's
I know what you're talking about. It looks cool too. It's like
monkey bread is fire, especially when you're high.
I'll look up the difference between sticky buns and monkey bread.
It sounds like sticky buns is just a bun. It's like there's like individual buns.
You can put nuts in.
Monkey bread is one big loaf stuck together, but it falls apart into little pieces.
Oh my gosh, so many pop-ups. No, I can't. I'm not gonna sign up just to see this.
Let me ask you guys this: why do you think we're on the subject of baked goods? Why are baked goods attached to the morning? Where's the midnight baked goods stores?
There's 24/7 donut places.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, you're right. Krispy Kreme's still 24 though.
I think about all the diners that serve breakfast 24/7. It's just fast food that you can't get your breakfast after 10:30 or 9.
I don't know where. Do we have any diners in here, Spartan? I don't think we have any 24-hour diners or even a diner.
We used to.
That's what I'm saying. Where I live, they used to, but they always kept failing.
Well, we have it's still there and it's still open. It's just not open 24 hours anymore. And it's Denny's.
Oh, that's I meant like a diner. That's like
that's the
not
hometown
a chain.
Diner.
Not a chain, but I like Denny's and IHOP.
Yeah, we got IHOP. We have IHOP. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Right on West Ave.
If you want to eat some pancakes with just straight sugar on them,
it's just the dessert.
It's a great place.
I've never even set foot in that fucking place since they put it up. I'm like, nah. If I need dessert, I'll go someplace else.
But in my opinion, Bob Evans has the best sausage. And
I haven't been there yet. I need to go.
You can get the sausage at any grocery store too. I just do that, but though they do have a restaurant, here and there.
Yeah, we got.
They got one outside our grocery store. It's like in the same parking lot.
Give it a shot. It's probably. I don't know.
They don't have them in the South. which I didn't see him.
Do we have any Waffle Houses up here?
Not that I'm aware of.
You gotta go across the board.
Oh, I love Waffle House. We don't have Waffle House in Michigan?
No, man.
I don't think
Ohio.
so.
Because the thing about Waffle House is every Waffle House is a great place to like see drama get shot at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Well, we got Detroit and
works
Flint for that.
It works for everywhere.
We got Detroit, Flint, and Saginaw. I'll give you 3 spots.
Yeah,
Those are
any
3
city
spots.
on the east side of the state. I mean,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember they have one in Tallahassee that's like, it's not right next to the bars, but it's like on the way out of the bars to all the apartment complexes where everybody's going to go home. So like, it was always just packed in the middle of the night and there would be fights. That was the thing, fights. But
I think I've seen a few of those online.
yeah, Waffle, that's the type of shit. It goes down all the time. I'm sure.
they'll still got to be 24/7, right? Because they're always like off the expressway.
I don't know. I haven't seen them because I guess they're not up here. About to become a franchisee.
So Toledo looks like the closest one,
First-
guys.
Oh, okay.
Toledo.
What's their hours?
It says
24/7?
24 hours on Monroe Street.
How far is Toledo near Cedar Point?
Yeah, you'd go through.
Yeah, that's like 2 hours away. That's
Yeah.
far.
See you guys there.
That'd be crazy. We all meet up. The Michigan Bros meet up at a fucking
Ohio.
Waffle House in Ohio.
See y'all?
And they're like, who the fuck are you guys? We're like, Michigan Bros Girl Show. We all reek. It'd be great.
Bring
Pull out
the,
Puffco's, stuff
We'll
like
do it.
that.
We'll do a lot. Just a camera. We'll do a walkthrough.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that's a good place to do a late sesh.
Really.
Not in Ohio. That's not a good spot.
Exactly. You can't do it. Never mind.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to sign up for that one.
Yeah, I also.
I don't even want to sign up for that one.
It's just down the
I
road
ain't
from
stupid.
the grow store.
Maybe we do a morning sesh brunch.
But they
Yeah.
don't have mimosas, so
But we have mini bottles of champagne.
Yeti bottles or something. Water bottles.
You just hear from our table pop, 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 pop.
like
Can we get some strawberries for our orange juice?
have orange juice, please.
We all walk in carrying tumblers and shit.
Yeah.
Orange juice and strawberries.
Alright.
Guess we're not going to
Cat.
Waffle House.
Damn, I love a good waffle.
Do you prefer waffle or pancake?
Waffle.
Hash brown.
Or French
From
toast.
there,
I mean,
No, I don't want to
Well,
throw French toast is like an orange compared
First
to
of all, Baked, in what world would I have to pick? Why couldn't I get both?
because maybe like in my house I don't have a waffle press.
Why would you be in your house then? Just go to the fucking restaurant and get them both.
I thought you were at a
I'm
Waffle.
just, you literally just asked me, in what world, and I gave you one, and you're like, well, don't go in that world, go outside. I'm saying I'm at home and I don't want to go somewhere. I can make a pancake like that. I cannot make a waffle, so therefore I can only have one.
You don't have a toaster in your fucking house?
Can have all
What?
You don't have a toaster in your house?
right next door to us.
I got toasted. You want me to buy preservative filled frozen waffles?
Over not having 0 waffles? Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh, I like.
I'm not doing that. I like making my own pancakes and waffles.
I think a waffle iron's like not that expensive.
I'll
Hold
get
on, I'm
you.
gonna
That's
share
not
my
the point. The
screen.
hypothetical was, what do you prefer?
They're
I'm
always
about to
better
send you one.
homemade. I think.
Pancakes.
I like pancakes.
I like pancakes better.
Yeah, I like them lightly cooked.
I like them because they're
Oh, I like 'em when
customizable.
What is it called with meat? Rare? I like it rare.
Oh, really?
I like them like big and fluffy. I like them. I don't like the flat pancakes. I like the big, fat, fluffy pancakes.
Belgian.
Yeah.
Or,
There's
I guess
something
it's
you can
waffle,
put
but-
in there, a little sprinkle of
I don't
something.
put butter or syrup on my pancakes either. I cut my pancake and then I'll put a little syrup on the plate and then I'll dip it in.
Oh, you're a dipper.
Oh,
do you
you're
do
a
that with your
dipper. That's
salad?
very
Oh.
fancy.
Do you dip your salad
Very
into your
fancy,
dressing?
Sarah.
No.
Ooh la la! She's dipping pancakes.
And my breakfast
She likes crepes. She doesn't like pancakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
was going
used-
to ask.
Mother syrup.
Kind of, I prefer crepes.
And honestly, to me,
What,
like
what
crunch.
exactly is a crepe?
it needs syrup.
A
Does that
very
like
thin
the fluff?
pancake.
Make a good
Oh,
pancake,
I've
it's
never
like-
made one of those.
and good without it. And I don't even put butter on my pancakes either. I don't think it needs it.
What?
If you make a good pancake, it really doesn't.
Oh, do you think butter makes it worse?
No, it just doesn't really need all of it. It's just
Oh, it
it's
needs
already a good pancake, so it really doesn't need it.
Oh, it definitely.
I
needs
agree.
it.
I never put butter on any of my breakfast foods.
And can
What
you
about
put
vanilla? You guys use vanilla?
I fry my breakfast. foods in
$12.99. It's on sale. Look at that.
Dude, it's
That's a
you get
mini
these at
though.
like Target. Oh yeah, but it's perfect. For
I
a
know,
bachelor like baked who's just gonna whip up a.
But I prefer
waffle or two.
pancakes, so why would I even bother?
They make that little thing right there that makes you a little
Get that
English
shit out of my
Here-
face.
here's the fun part is a waffle is the same ingredients as a pancake, except
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
It's
It's
the same
just got
ingredients, but it has little syrup pockets.
You're exactly right.
Which makes it totally cooked different.
Yeah.
Because you got total unevenness of cooking. You got ridges and dips.
Yeah,
There-
yeah.
Whereas
More
that's where you
crunchy.
get more crunchy no matter what. Pancake you get to choose kind of.
Yep.
So
have to have crunchy waffles though? I never make mine crunchy.
yeah.
Ooh, I do.
Then you'll have to make me a waffle one day because most of mine have a little bit of crunch compared to a pancake.
Something
Yeah.
else that you gotta have crunchy is the hash browns. Now you gotta make sure that
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
they
with you.
say.
I'm a million times with you. I hate the soft hash browns.
Bringing up hash browns.
it's still breakfast.
I agree. Hash browns,
Hash browns
crispy
at
hash
breakfast. I'm with you. Hash browns and some eggs and some pancakes and
I
some
mean,
waffles
browns,
and maybe
sweets,
some
browns.
toast on the side with some
What about a
Cinnamon
good thing of cinnamon rolls?
cinnamon
Oh,
rolls. Yeah, I'm down. I like
I
cinnamon
could.
rolls.
I love going to the airport
You
Like
guys are eating
Cinnabon.
for a Cinnabon, and I know it's full of shit, but I don't give a crap.
Bro, have you seen the
They're
ones
so
you can get
good.
at Sam's Club? You like the ones at Sam's Club.
What? Like they have like are they
In their
Cinnabon?
bakery. No, they're their
Oh,
version.
Sam's brand. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll try them.
It's their bakery.
I haven't
where
been
they
over
make
there
them.
in a minute.
I don't know if they still have them, but they're fucking huge, man. They're like
Yeah. Costco. I remember used to have huge ones, so I bet I'll have to get some. A lot of that stuff though, I don't eat it fast
That's
enough.
hard for
with
you
the
to buy because
yeah.
damn.
They
They'll
get like
give you they'll give you so much, especially at Sam's.
I
That's
think
like
Sam's gives you like a 4-pack. I don't think it's that big.
okay, good. Because I know some places like when I went to Meyer, I was like, damn, those cinnamon rolls look good, but it was like a 12 plate or something. I was just like, I'm never gonna get through that before that date on there.
And if you do get through it, you probably shouldn't. So
Yeah, that's a good point there.
That's an excellent point.
You'll be feeling like shit
sorry,
while you're shitting.
reason, but sometimes you have to be. You know?
Yeah.
My guilty pleasure has been key lime pies. I buy key lime pies from Meyer that are frozen. I leave them in the freezer and I cut them up just like you would a pie and eat them frozen. And it's like key lime ice cream. It's
Is
just
it
so-
Meyer brand?
Oh wow.
No, it's like Mary Calendar or somebody like that.
Okay.
I think there's two brands. There's Mary Calendar or something like that, and then the other one is someone to eat like Edmonton's or something. And I've tried them both, and they're both all right. But that Mary Kettle is just more limey. Oh, this key lime. I don't know.
Marie
it's
Callender's.
Speaking about pies, I
so
had
good.
the most decadent pie from the Amish the other day. It was a lemon, and it was a lemon pie. It was not like lemon meringue or lemon chiffon. This was some different kind of texture of
Was it like a key lime pie texture, like a cheesecake texture?
No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like airy like that. It wasn't like a curd. It wasn't like a
Okay.
gelatin. It was kind of a mix of all three, and it was
Wow.
wow. I don't normally eat pie like this, and I crushed it in like 5 seconds. So good. My boss looked at me and she was like, "Did you just eat that?" And I was like, Yeah, already gone.
Lemon curd is.
Yeah, the Amish can really do some wonders with pies. Wow.
Oh yeah, I like a lot of the Amish stuff.
Wow.
Lemon curd is just sinfully good. Oh, lemon curd.
Yeah, I mean, if this was like lemon curd, I've never had a lemon curd like this. So, wow, it was really good.
Pecan pies I discovered
those are
not
good too.
I mean too terribly long ago in my life. And then one of the things that I don't know if this is more just I don't know how big this is. I've seen them in stores and stuff, but my grandmother used to make this pie every Christmas, and there was a certain ingredient on it when I was growing up that I just refused to eat. And so every Christmas I passed up on this certain pie. I was probably like 22, 23 years old before I finally tried it. And it's
say sweet potato.
No.
That's fire.
Yeah, I'm a fan of sweet potato now in my adult life as well. But it's called coconut Christmas pie or something like that. And it had this coconut shavings on top, and it was like this, I don't know, sweet, like creamy white, like I don't know if it was coconut, like whipped coconut, like filling, almost like mousse like. And it was just very sweet. And I immediately fell in love with it. And of course, the next year she passed, and I was like just killing myself because I, let 23 years go by without eating this delicious pie. But yeah, that was another good pie. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of like those sweets like that, but like when it comes to breakfast treats, ooh, donuts, ooh.
No, I do like.
I don't know. I think desserts are always like after you eat this meal, right? And I'm never ready for dessert. I'm already like full. I never save room or anything. I try to enjoy whatever the meal is that was prepared, or put in front of me.
Like you just stuffed yourself full of turkey or ham or whatever, but like who's ready for dessert? And you're like, really? No one.
For real though.
I'm always ready for dessert, just so everybody knows.
You just eat dessert first and then don't even worry about it.
I mean, that's true.
It's really fun. It's like, so we eat a lot healthier. We don't eat any junk food practically, right? We do, but not really at all.
Only when we bring it over, right?
It's been so fun to like figure out how to cook with healthier ingredients. Like I've really enjoyed that, or like just finding different things that are just as yummy. Like way more into different fruits and like natural sugars. Don't get me wrong, like Reese's peanut butter cups have always been my jam, but I like see them at the store and I'm like cursing at them. I'm like, you guys suck. I hate you. Because it's like all that food is so addicting. It's so hard to get away from.
I will say, just have yourself like real chocolate and then eat a Reese's. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's so much different. It doesn't really taste like chocolate. It just tastes like sweet, delicious sugar.
Yeah.
And like whatever flavor they're putting in there. But I mean, then you can just get addicted to real chocolate. So
yeah. I feel like everything when you abuse it and eat too much of it is going to be bad. And that's similar for healthy food too. So like especially because I have type 1 diabetes, I'm like very selective. I try to be. And we still get sweets and stuff, but like very few in moderation.
I like that like craft food thought where things are homemade and those that are home making them are using ingredients that are mindfully sourced. Like rather than just being some name brand whipped cream, they use like maybe a market fresh whipped cream that they got from a farmer's market or some are homemade. Yeah, and like products are a little more vertically integrated through the line of locally sourcing rather than most of the refined additives added to something was like sourced from overseas or like all over the world. And it's it's whatever about the trade, but the point is that there's tons of just carbon costs going in shipping stuff all over. Not to mention the the different biology. You should be eating just locally, just for your own gut health. And healthy food, it turns a lot of people off, like talking about food as being healthy or one way or another. It's like, I ain't eating no damn diet food. It don't taste good, no sugar, whatever. I get it. I like that phrase, that whole food, the real food, living food. Um, yeah, I mean, even natural food can, people like to scoff at the term natural because everything is natural. I get it. There's marketing and branding that's misleading and stuff like that that's in those things, but you can't deny a homegrown tomato. And you can't deny homegrown chicken eggs, chickens that are fed cannabis, homegrown products. You can't deny that stuff. There's no fooling us when we do it ourselves. So there's something a little bit different in sourcing some foods like that. And then again, like finding different ways to have snacks and sweet stuff, like Blue Kiss Gardens hooked us up with a bunch of honey. That's a great source of sugar. 16 grams of carbohydrates per teaspoon. There's a ton of sugar in that. There's a there's an unrefined source of sugar. Um, we drink milk. We do also, I mean, we eat meat, heavy meat, fatty meat. The term health food is very misleading. Meat is very healthy. There's a lot of meat that's very unhealthy. And it's all about mindful sourcing and
It's really I get really bad munchies and I really like to binge eat. Like it's a problem, right? Like I like to just keep eating. And we like try so hard to only have like because I'm the worst and then we smoke weed and like you want to eat all the food, right? But
so some snacks like popcorn.
Apples and
We
peanut
keep
butter.
fruit.
That's like my favorite. That's my
Apples,
jam.
snack on apples. There's a ton of sugar in apples. That's definitely a sweet.
Apples and peanut butter is so good.
There's also a lot of protein in peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
There's actually a lot of omega, but it is a seed oil. You're getting omega 3s.
Are we talking like freshly ground peanuts or?
Well,
we get
actually
like natural,
a good natural. Yeah,
we get a natural peanut butter.
Not the over oily stuff.
For girl, they choosy moms choose Jif.
Oh, it's added with honey. That's what makes it nice.
There's some honey.
Awesome.
No, that
just the best.
That being said, like we do our dessert at our wedding, guys. Just so all y'all know, is donuts and cookies. Like, shit, man, like that. I love all that stuff, but it's like a celebration thing, so it's cool.
It's one thing if you have all of that stuff as a celebrate. It's one thing to like be totally dogmatic and say I'm never gonna eat that shit again. That's pretty impossible. You're gonna really eliminate most joy from your life doing that type of stuff. And it's another thing to say I'm not going to carry that shit in my cupboards and eat it on a daily basis. But maybe when we're out and about and we're passing by a mom and pop donut shop and we want to support a small business, we'd go in there and go and have that snack, and grab a 6-pack to bring home. And maybe that's a once a month because we don't go out that often. But like that's kind of how we treat snacks and stuff like that. And dude, like a good greasy breakfast. I'm all about a greasy breakfast. I'm not big on grains and breads, but I'll eat the shit out of some fucking breakfast sausage and eggs and we use
fruit.
We reuse our bacon fat. We filter it and we use bacon grease for our cooking fat most of the time. Like most of our food that we cook with, we use bacon fat with. All of our dinners, our breakfast, certainly when we cook eggs, we use bacon fat. We are out of bacon fat right now. We've been using coconut oil, but olive oil is not good to use at high temperatures. It ends up turning into carcinogenic compounds at high temperatures. It's better to be used cold. Olive
Get
oil,
that beef tallow.
things. Yeah, exactly. Beef tallow, bacon fat.
I'd like
Coconut
to
oil
make
is actually a
some.
good one for
I'd like
high
to make
temps.
some of our own beef tallow. Like it's not that hard from what I hear, so that'd be ideal. I think you just
Did
boil.
we miss hash time?
Yeah, but well, I don't think Nut Tree did, and I know I didn't.
I forgot. I took some RSO. I haven't taken RSO in like months, so like it's hitting.
I used to work with
I kind of just want to eat these pretzels.
when she used to make a tallow lotion. And it like was hard for me to get my head around the idea of using that as a lotion, just because of obviously I know what it is, how it's made, that kind of thing. But boy, it really does help on for a skin aspect. Just saying.
Well, our skins, they absorb fat so much better. So like water-based stuff doesn't do quite the same as like oil-based that our body can actually like absorb properly.
And it does those industries that are already wasteful no good to have more of a waste product. You might as well do something with those products rather than just dumping them, and creating more waste or whatever, burning it off. Use it to cook with, use it to, for fuels, whatever you can. I mean, it's an oil. It's certainly has a nice flashpoint, And then wipe up the grill with that bacon fat and take that rag over, and that's a really nice piece of kindling to start a fire. You don't need to be pouring all your gasoline on your bonfire to get it going. You got one nice little match, and that thing will get up and go, no problem.
Good idea.
I love using bacon fat soaked rags to start a bonfire. But it cooks great, man. It smells really good.
Dog doesn't get to it before then, right?
Well, I was gonna say, don't just go pouring it in your fire pit.
I've gone and like toss them over there to get to later, and I'm fucking caught gnawing on them. So that is the thing.
Yeah.
Apologies to our vegetarian, vegan friends for all the meat talk, but we do like to utilize what we have available to us.
I speak for yourself. I am an unapologetic meat eater. Thank you very much.
It's interesting. I was vegan for like a year, and it was because I really love animals so much, and like I was like upset and saddened by the meat industry. But I always thought like, if I had my own chickens, like I can raise them ethically. Like that's something I know where it comes from. So I had this idea in my head so long ago, and now having our own chickens, it's fucking best.
Well, I really feel like to hold strong to that type of a strong, like strict ideology where no animal products are being used, like you have to grow everything yourself. Because of so many industries, like animals are being harmed through shipping and trucking. You know what I mean? Like if your stuff's being even shipped to the grocery store, like animals are being killed in its wake. You know what I mean? And so it's like you close your own loops, and then you can definitely be, have your veganic system, however you want to have it. But to be relying on any other system, you know what I mean? They cannot guarantee that they're not harming animals, especially a tractor plowing a field. I mean, most of our vegetables, most of our products, right? Let's just talk about our grain products. You know what I mean? Our grain products, our crackers on the shelf and shit like that, is grown in a field that has been plowed, and all of the microbiome, the biology has been completely destroyed. How much life has been destroyed on that field just for those crackers? Like talk about like to be against death of anything. I mean, absentee. I mean, there's so much life that gets killed off just for the benefit of a box of crackers. You know what I mean? Not to mention the actual living fauna in the ground, the macro fauna, right? The birds, the bunnies, the little chipmunks and shit like that. They get crushed and creamed by the fucking tractors and plows, all in the the sake of or get sprayed down with glyphosate, and the deer come in and it's like, oh, cute deer eating the corn. No, those cute deer are getting tumors from the glyphosate that they're eating on that corn. You know, it's not cute.
Not getting tumors from all the plants they're eating in my garden.
No, they're not. Nice, beautiful, organic.
But I did accidentally run over one bunny this year.
Right. It's the only way to do it, man. You got to do it yourself. You got to know people that can do it properly, do it right. Otherwise, you're just kind of like trying to have a good ethical choice. There's just so much misleading information, you know what I mean, about how everything operates. I really think that people are just more on a being fooled into ideologies than being able to come up with good points on why it's a strong one. I love the idea of the animal cruelty thing. I just think that it's very impossible to live without animals being harmed in the wake of large commercial like you have to like if you're going to have that ideology, like you have to like support small businesses, you know what I mean? You can't be eating fries from McDonald's and shit like that.
And that's the thing though, like Oreos are vegan, right? Like, and that's
right. And
I would just eat Oreos
and you're supporting like this huge conglomerate destructive force, you know, that's just in its wake destroying oceans and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? And so it's like you got to find where your politics draw the line with your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance and everything. Just like we were talking earlier with, you know, kind of keeping everything in moderation. There's certainly a balance there too, because it's nearly impossible to stick to your ethics. You know what I mean? Like just through a consumerism anyway.
Exactly. Like I think that you know, if you want to have ethical choices about how you manage your lifestyle and your things you put in your body, like if you want to save the planet and save the animals, you know, support local, homegrown, support chicken farmers, you know what I mean? Support the actual farmers that do have 5 cows and are having some milk. Don't deny the milk. Drink some milk, put the milk in your body and support that farmer, because it's those large corporations that are just going to overrun us into only, you know, eating really, really bad stuff, and animals are going to be even further destroyed, and our ecosystems are going to be destroyed in the wake. You know, it's just going to be
I have been trying to buy more of my meat at the local farmers market. I got my last steak there. I got my last chicken there. All of the pork that I've smoked has come from there. I haven't made the jump to the milk yet, but you know, that's something I could probably do for my coffee, which is pretty much the only thing I drink, you know, steamed milk in or whatever, maybe cereal every once in a while. But I don't think I don't know if that's the greatest idea to have like a 2-year-old running around with, you know, I don't know. I'm just not educated enough on it.
I think if you know how the farmer is raising them, like it's perfectly fine. But you gotta have that confidence.
There's local pasteurized milk. You know what I mean? Like there's, you know, FDA stuff that's local. And Spartan, what's the company you guys have in Jackson? You guys get
it's not the one that I know of is not in Jackson. It's out of Monroe, but it's called Calder's Dairy.
Calder Dairy.
And they make the best fucking chocolate milk you've ever taken.
Oh yeah.
So that would be a local. That'd be at least a local. And I know that what is it? In Hillsdale, our good friends over at the Yeti Stash, they have some friends that they know somewhere in that Hillsdale area that has organic milk cows, or at least it's a local dairy farmer, and they sell to the local markets and stuff like that in the area.
I think the Horizon milk farmers.
Horizon milk. So they farm for Horizon.
It was very eye-opening for me. I, honest to God, had never seen. I'd never seen milk like that before, and it did. You know, like I don't like milk, so it like really scared me. So, but it just because I don't like anything about milk, and then I was like, I wanted to try it just because I really wanted to. I do want to try things. I'm picky about certain things, but not other things. But I really wanted to try it. But then when it got described to me what it might taste like, then I was just like, no, never mind.
So have you ever like drank a glass of milk? Have you tried that?
I haven't had any milk in years.
Okay, not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I actually enjoy drinking a glass of milk. I like a
Unfortunately,
like drinking milk, and I always have my whole life. I don't know if like some people don't like it, some people do like
I
it.
like chocolate milk or strawberry milk.
Chocolate milk is definitely
But straight milk, nah, no way.
But that's like I went dairy free for 5 years, close to 5 years. It was like 3 to 5 years. It was a really long time. I went completely dairy free. I was ingredients checking. No way. I don't mean no way. No, I mean WHEY. Whey product, curds and whey. None of that shit. Like I was ingredient checking to make sure there were no dairy products. Period. Like that's impossible. Bread is loaded with it. You know, that's another thing. Like to stay away from like all forms of meat is very impossible. There's butter and all kinds of shit in almost everything. And so like that's where I was like, oh, okay, I can do the ingredient checking, but I really got back into dairy and I started figuring out that it's the gut biology deal, right? There's so much bad gut biology over there. Dog food. That's his thing when he gets a little hyperactive, he gags. So when we started drinking A2 milk, which is a different hormone of cow, a different hormone of protein, it's a different type of cow, and the type of milk that they produce is a different protein. It actually reacts totally different when I drink it. So I don't have these gut reactions like I used to. Come to find out that milk is good for the calcium. That's the big thing that everybody claimed to drink milk for because of the calcium. But the big thing that milk is good for is direct benefit to lactic acid in your gut biology. And that's huge when you're trying to have a good gut biology that's going to digest, things properly and especially some of the harmful things that we eat on a regular basis, especially if some of our food cabinets do have things like potato chips and stuff like that. And some of these seed oils and a lot of other stuff is harmful. The good gut biology helps us be able to process that stuff properly. Well, milk is one of those things that allow us to build good lactic acid because of the lactose and the content in there. So a lot of the lactose intolerance comes from a deficiency in lactic acid in our guts. And so having small bits of things like yogurt, cottage cheese, some cheeses, and things like that can begin to build up that lactic acid to get your lactose processes going so you can drink a little bit of milk again. But milk and just having milk, and what I found out was that different protein milk, the A2 milk, we can drink it without any discomfort at all. Someone that's lactose intolerant, Becca, I believe, is lactose intolerant. And,
no, I'm fine.
Oh, you're good with it. A lot of people that I do know lactose intolerant are good with A2 milk. But that's one of the biggest things for that discomfort is because if you're lactose intolerant, there's a very strong likelihood that you're deficient in lactic acid loving bacteria in your gut biome, and that is a very large issue that can lead to other issues, that can lead to diseases, gut biology diseases, Crohn's disease, things like that, lipedema, all these other things that fat loving and protein loving cells diseases that kind of come on board is all related to the gut biology, and it's protein, different animal fats, things like that boost that along. And also plants. The thing about plants is tough, man, because plants, it takes more energy to digest all the fiber that's in plants. And because plants also have all of that sugar, you get more glucose and you get more carbohydrates out of that. So it does become, it gets a more energy boost some respect, but the opposite respect, it can be harder on your digestive system. So it's better to kind of get rid of the fiber, juice as much of that kind of stuff as you can, put it into an available form, just like making a plant available, like we do with our fertilizers and stuff. We make it human and bio available, and drink our plants and eat our meats. And in my opinion, get a good solid. We all know I love nuts, so get your good solid serving of nuts, because those are high in omega 3s, and most of us have been taught to count calories and watch that food pyramid and get our bread and our eggs and our meat and all of that stuff off the pyramid with 1,000 calories or 3,000 calories in a day. But the reality is, we can really live off of just simple things like cannabis seeds, because that is a nut that has both omega 3 and 6 oils. And we're designed to live off of omega 3 and 6 oils exclusively. And those things alone, as a protein source, get us rolling, and that's our main energy source. What's awesome about that is that will balance your body and help keep all of that stuff in check, all those gut biologies in check, and really you can get it all from just nuts and meat, or seaweed. Seaweed's a good source. Fish is a good source. But yeah, man.
You're freaking nuts, Red. You're nuts.
Dude. Just eat cannabis. We can live and survive off of cannabis. And I'm sure at one time our ancestors have done that. One of us on this panel, our ancestors probably survived off of some cannabis seeds, and maybe their cows, they probably gave those cannabis plants to their cows. And just a whole synergistic relationship between, there's probably some chickens involved, between chicken man cow. There's a chicken man cow relationship. Cannabis, chicken man, cannabis cow. There we go. The CCMC.
It's like man, bear, pig.
CMCC.
You heard it here first. Michigan Bros Scotia. CNBC.
Chicken man, cannabis cow.
Yep.
I believe that those relationships go back as old as agriculture, period. For those main reasons. We're good off of those four things. The chickens and the cows help keep our fields lush and green, and we get protein sources from both of them. And then the cannabis gives us our omega 3s, at least until we got into the heavy big nuts, our walnuts, our pecans.
That it's interesting that you bring up that A2 milk thing, because I actually at the store today for the first time actually noticed it, and I didn't know anything about it, and I never heard of it before, and then you brought it up. So while you were talking, I read the Wikipedia article on it, and apparently, basically A1, our normal milk, versus A2 is just a difference in one amino acid in the beta casein, I don't know if I'm saying that right, protein, that a company out of New Zealand was able to develop a genetic test to identify whether the cow would produce A1 or A2 protein, and then have since commercialized and marketed it and licensed it throughout the world. That being said, apparently there's not a lot not a lot of research to support some of their claims, but in 2020, Purdue and the University of Auckland, I think, came out with a pair of papers that's like suggested, I think it said, that A2 milk is potentially better for you if you are lactose intolerant, because it's not going to upset your stomach like A1 milk would. But I'm curious to know more about it. You know what I mean? Other than this Wikipedia article, I don't know if you got any more information, because it seems like it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a level of lactose. I think it just has something to do with like what switching on and off triggers in your biome. And I'm
I mean,
curious.
just the change in one protein would do that. You know what I mean? Like,
right. That's what I mean. Yeah. So,
I wonder if it's like cannabinoids though, where they haven't identified A3 or A4. You know what I mean? Like all these other different. Maybe it's A1 dash XYZ. You know what I mean? Like,
you're totally right, because think of the different varietals of cow. Like, have we gotten into ragu milk? Yeah, wagyu milk, ragu.
ragu. This is the complete opposite.
Like let's get into let's
awesome.
get into goat milk and figure out what's going on, because goat cheese is
better.
supposed to be much better as well. So what's going on with that, and what type of protein does that have on the system, on why that type of a milk?
So that's actually in this. It says non-cow milk, including that of humans, sheep, goats, donkeys, yaks, camels, buffalo, and others also contain mostly the A2 beta casein, and so the term A2 milk is also used in that context.
Yeah, so humans, right? Humans,
humans
are not. That's why we're not lactose to our mother, not lactose intolerant to our mothers, right? And that totally makes sense. But the other part about milk is that you're getting a ton of nutrition when you drink milk. You're getting calcium, but we were talking about mineral density, and now let's talk about plant availability and mineral density when we talk about organic systems, and like when we eat organic fruits and vegetables. Okay, we have 2 apples.
Get them.
Right? We have 2 apples. And in fact, you have the conventionally grown apple that's larger than the organic apple that's smaller, right? And in this system, you would say, which is a better apple? Well, the
bigger one.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The capitalist is going to say the bigger apple. It's going to weigh more. I can sell it for more money.
It's shiny.
Right. But the person who is actually interested in health and wellness is going to say the one that is more mineral dense. That means that even though this apple is bigger and this apple is smaller, when you're talking about how much nutrition is actually jam packed into that apple, that smaller apple that was organically grown actually has more nutrition, mineral density in that. That same type of stuff is going on in the cow milk in that you're getting. So when you're getting, conventionally grown products, milk, for example, especially when you start getting like the 1%, 0.5%, that's really watered down milk. There's not a lot of mineral activity in that on top of, the main one's calcium, right? They market it with calcium. This is probably the primary.
Now there's what, like DHEA or
there's so much. Well, you think how many
DHA.
like all the
DEA.
minerals. There's all the minerals to sustain a baby's life for the first how many months?
I mean, you pick, they pick. You know what I mean? Like, could be 6 months, could be 12 months, 18 months, 2 years.
You're right.
Well,
So
a baby cow anyway.
To live on, a baby cow. Right. Yeah, baby cow.
Oh, I was talking
again, a mammal.
about
Still a mammal. We're all mammals, and so our we may have different, but nonetheless, cows shouldn't be. We feed them grain, right? And they shouldn't be grain fed. They're grass fed. So you're right, Spartan. They have different mineral requirements. They may require different things, but it's going to have a lot of just minerals in it because of their main diet source. Now, here's the thing about their diet source. What minerals are in the cow and in the milk are going to be in their diet source. You know what I mean? So you get all the grain fed that they're not supposed to be eating, and then you're also getting glyphosate in the grain where they could be eating fresh grass that they should be eating, and then getting the proper nutrition and the minerals, a lot of minerals from grass.
I was gonna say, every cow farm around me that I've even really seen in Michigan that isn't one of those ones that's kind of way off the road, and it's like 3, we'll call them pole barns that, I don't know, look like they're the size of a city block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're all lit up all night long and everything. You could you look driving down this country road and you're like, oh my God, there's got to be like 1 million cows in that thing, I've never seen the smaller farms with maybe like, I don't know, pick it 20, 50, even 100 cows. I've never seen them be grain fed once. I've always seen them either mowing the hay and baling it up 3-4 times a year, or whatever, and feeding, saving it and feeding it to maybe getting it from the other farms down the street and saving it under some massive tarps, letting them roam from pasture to pasture or whatever. But I've never seen them like dump grain or anything, or like corn or anything like that out for these cows.
They're ruminant feeders. They want to go and eat grass and do that,
and lay in mud and try
Yeah,
to
dude,
break
yeah,
down
exactly.
fences.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't want to eat corn and all that. They will because they're hungry. They'll eat each other if you let them. You know, they'll eat you if you let them. They want to eat grass, man. And what's different about that too is, there's hundreds of different types of grass. So depending on what type of grass they're eating is going to make a huge difference on the type of production and minerals that you get. There's just so many reasons that we could be lactose intolerant, and it all leads down to I really think just what the mass availability is. Like there's 1,000 varieties of apples, but there's only about 5 in the grocery store. If somebody happens to have, if 1,000 people happen to have an allergy to one of those types of apples, they're going to blame it on the apples, where there's 1,000 other varieties to choose from. You know what I mean? Maybe we should choose some different varieties, and maybe nobody has allergies to some of those other varieties. We just haven't gotten the chance in modern day times to do any research because corporations have taken over all of the genetics of that's available. And there's heirloom stuff available, but that stuff's not interesting enough for mass research, for because commercialization only is dictated with they take the stuff that yields. So all of our bread aisle is all wheat. You know what I mean? It's all gluten products. So everybody's having issues with gluten and stuff, but there's a big issue. Is just we're not really designed to eat wheat. There's a ton of other great grains that we should be fermenting this wheat. First of all, our ancestors may have eaten wheat, but they fermented the shit. We lost the great art of fermentation about 200 years ago, and that's when all of these issues with our gut biome really started up, because we mass produce the shit now. And as of 2003, they're spraying shit with the glyphosate. I'm not going to get into that, but that's a different ballpark altogether.
I want to tell you a story about corn, because I can see Becca's itching to take a dab, and she doesn't want to cut you off with this loud torch next to you. So we're speaking of heirloom seeds and whatnot and corn. We're of course growing a corn again this year. I think we have maybe four different varieties. Your kind of Indian style multicolored corn, a couple different like sweet corns, and then I think like a red corn or something, some different color, just like a solid color one. It's doing okay, you know what I mean? Some of it's doing all right. When I look at it compared to the what is he yelling at me? He's yelling at me. Is he yelling at me? Anyways, so when I'm driving by these cornfields and I see just this crazy uniform corn that's all like 7.5 feet tall and it's 6 inches apart, and probably not even, actually, it's probably like 3 inches apart by the looks of it, as far as it gets closer every year. And it's just like, hundreds, if not thousands of acres of it, just all over Michigan. It just all perfect. And it's all just Monsanto or whatever. And that's it. It grows like that because, they can spray it and they can, it's all just perfectly genetically modified seed or whatever. Well,
it also feeds a hell of a lot of people and a hell of a lot of animals, and it's mostly animals because it's field corn. But I mean, it's not great the way they're doing it, and I'm not going to argue that. But it's not completely terrible either, and that's why it's not being changed so quickly, because it's supporting a huge.
It's supporting the
industry.
world. You know what I mean? We have corn syrup and everything. And that's a whole different thing. But so the point of the story is, I am pretty confident that I assume a deer probably was eating some of that Monsanto corn last year, came over to my cornfield to eat some of mine, released some of the seed in my cornfield, and it has now grown amongst my corn. And there's like 4 or 5 of them right next to each other. Well, I didn't sign no contract, so they could come sue me all they want. But,
they actually can. They actually can, and they have.
I'm gonna eat that corn before they come get it. Anyways, it is.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no, I mean, assume it was a deer that came and shat upon my garden and grew this, just monstrous corn. It's just hilarious. It's seriously, it's like 7 feet tall. It's so much darker green than everything else. I don't know. It's ridiculous. So there's just 3, like, I don't know what, 4 or 5 of them right next to each other. So
those orange corns. This is what I was getting so hyped about. I was letting Becca do her dab.
Oh, thanks.
Orange corn, man, and a great varietal of corn that is incredibly great for us. So we think about the availability. Most consumers don't even know this corn exists. When you're searching for something like vitamin A is crucial. Vitamin A you get out of very specific things, and beta carotene is where you get that. And when you're looking for beta carotene in nature, it's that color orange. So sweet potatoes, carrots, orange corn, and that specific varietal of orange corn is very high in beta carotene. It's one of the highest sources of beta carotene to get that great vitamin A sourcing, right out of your garden right there. And they leave that out of the grocery store pharmacopoeia, you know what I mean? The medicine cabinets at the grocery store, you know what I mean? Your vitamin shop, your GNC, it's at the grocery store. You don't need to add additional costs to your food bill just to get vitamins and minerals. It should already be in your food. The problem is that conventional agriculture has kind of left it out of our food. Oh, so coincidentally, for Growly, it's coincidental that corn, rather than growing tons of vitamin A, grows tons of seed oil instead. It's basically all it's good for nowadays is protein and seed oil for biofuel and biomass. There's very little mineral density, especially because they're feeding it full of nitrate fertilizer. All that density, that little apple, with all the good density, it's all in that orange corn that you got, though. That organically grown corn
If it's
versus
grown,
that.
if a GMO seed is grown organically, does that change that at all?
Oh, I'm sure it gets some more mineral dense product. I'm sure it helped it get huge. I'm sure that's why.
And that's the thing. I'm trying to think now about the actual corn, the cob itself, or whatever I didn't really take that close of a look at it. It's just I'm laughing because it's like, I've got these volunteer seedlings that are just as tall as them. You know what I mean? They're like almost competing with them or whatever, but there's not much else I'm growing that's this tall, and it's this damn corn that I'm pretty certain I didn't plant. And I don't know. It would be interesting. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna eat it.
It really doesn't get that big. I mean, it's 5, 6 feet at best.
Yeah, at best.
It's not 7, 8, 9 feet tall corn.
I've seen 12-footer at this fair.
That's a big corn. That sounds like GMO.
It wasn't this year, but it was a couple years ago. But it was the tallest stalk that was submitted, 12-footer.
We've got sunflowers right now that are 13, probably 12 or 13 feet. They're at least 4 feet taller than our arbor in our greenhouse, and they're still going. I'm pretty impressed.
I was gonna say you got to tape measure out there because
I want to. Not to get
top that at 14, and they were the mammoths.
Unless I see cross pollination in there, yeah. So you shouldn't have to worry about the eating of it, right? You should be able to still harvest the variety that you planted. But if that GMO corn got in there and you want to save any of those seeds to plant for next year, you're probably going to have high pollination from that GMO corn.
Oh no, I mean we have so much of it growing around us. There's nothing we can do about that anyway.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like
that's
I understand
things that you just can't collect your own seed for.
I've
have the cross of them, and then you're liable for growing their seed, and then they can sue the shit out of you. It's fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're gonna have to dig that out of my septic tank if they're gonna genetically test it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. Well, if you were like potentially trying to sell seeds, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No. We buy our own corn. I mean everything. That's in a different patch,
I don't know,
though.
Seed? What about that? What if you're holding seed, right, for next summer? You're gonna grow it yourself, and then they come in, are they gonna test the seeds that you have?
Dude, I think if if in my situation or a similar one in which
I'm curious who.
4 ears of corn or 4 corn plants grew on your corn plot that clearly were not part of the rest of what you were growing and probably came from the field a couple 100 feet away. I don't think they're going to be worried about this guy that's growing 4 ears of their corn or whatever by accident. And I'm just assuming it would be that source right now. If I were to take that seed and plant it, keep just whittling it down to, I don't know, maybe a couple acres worth to where I could harvest enough seed to sell it to a local farmer or something. You know what I mean? Like I'd have to commercialize it somehow at a big enough scale for them to give 2 shits worth.
I would hope so. Yeah.
I mean, guys.
What are they going to do? Check all their neighbors?
Well, they wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, they would have.
Yeah, they'd have to do something.
You know how many deer
crazy.
are pooping in the backyards of my neighbors' houses? You know what I mean? It's just like,
I mean,
nature is inevitable.
Exactly.
They can't do shit.
I'm excited to see on next door how many people have wild cannabis growing in their backyards, because we have it in our yard everywhere. Like we have volunteers all over the place. Some of my neighbors have to have them. You know, I'm sure they pull their weeds, but like my next door neighbor really does. She has some wild areas. It'd be great to just look back there and see like 4 or 5 plants.
Well, and it might not be your immediate neighbors. It might be a couple, streets over or something because of the birds that are eating the seeds that have fallen or whatever it might be,
We've got a whole little cluster where like a bird must have like taken a bud because last year we just
like a whole bud was
we
buried.
Pollinated everything. Yeah,
it was like 7 or 8 plants just coming out looking like we gotta
cut them actually.
Yeah, a few of them are males, so they're all males. All like these fucking plants are males. Not all of them showed sex, but
I was gonna say I thought all of mine were, because not all the volunteers, but similar thing, and it was where I had one last year. Clearly, like they just dropped all the seeds right on the like one side of the smart pot. So I've got like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 of them growing out. They're all like 7 feet tall. I'm like, these are all going to be males for sure. Today I went out there and I actually did chop 2 of them because they were sacking out pretty hard. But I think the rest of them are females, so I'm just gonna let them go.
Last year, the males that I cut back and I cut away ended up shooting buds and like rebolting. It was crazy. I chopped them down to like nothing. Like I kept like a stick and 2 leaves, and all of a sudden they were like, oop, doop, 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 budded up like crazy throughout the season. I was like, oh, they are persistent. Yeah, persistent and fertile.
Yeah, virile.
Some spread their pollen.
I mean, that's like their one purpose,
Yeah, they're really fucking good at it, man. We've had pollen in one of our rooms for fucking the last year, dude. Just can't get rid of finding seeds in our stash. This last round, I haven't found any male parts on anything, and we just keep finding seeds. Motherfucker, dude, this is crazy.
It's frustrating. I hate that.
It's just got to be like, probably came in because we did all that breeding last year. It had to have just came in on us, and we just drenched our rooms with it or something. So
it's just blowing around in there.
Yeah, dude. So it's time to
change the filters.
Yeah, we changed the filters and did a bunch of deep cleaning. So we're really hoping to get past this issue, finding seeds and shit.
Maybe try to get a little air filter, if you got one of those. Like
I was thinking about that. Just something.
Like a micro, what do they call that? The HEPA. Yeah, something with a HEPA filter. Like that's small enough to get pollen.
Extra. We got a really nice carbon filter, but it's pretty old.
Yeah, I just replaced my carbon filter. I think we talked about that, but that's another kind of pro tip there, Spartan. If you are doing a deep clean on your room, or just like shop vacuuming in between cycles. I mean, I'm not gonna say if you're like, just going casually like cleaning up some leaves or something or dirt from transplanting or whatever. But if you're like trying to clean up your room and you got no plants in it and you're just like vacuuming everything with a shop vac, go buy a brand new HEPA filter. I know they're kind of expensive. They're probably close to $30. Your regular ones are probably like half that price, maybe 16, 17 bucks. But that's kind of a nice way to treat your room to any pollen issues or mold issues. It's just a HEPA filter. It's just another way of not blowing that crap all the way around your room again, and just kicking it back up. But just one small thing to battle that those small micron issues.
Yeah, because for the HEPA certification, it has to be that small to be able to block, I believe, pollen. I don't know for sure, but I believe it is. I
Is
mean,
it
HEPA's
1 micron or something? It's something
I think
crazy.
it's 1 micron, but I
think
didn't
it
know.
Let's see. The other thing, our outdoor this year, our cucumbers are pretty much done.
100
And
range from 10 microns.
Septora is on our tomato leaves at the bottoms. The bottoms have got Septora. Our cannabis is pretty good. That doesn't seem to have been affected. Our sunflowers seem to have it on their bottoms, but the top half seem to be pretty good.
It starts at the bottom.
And I
It
think
creeps
that
up.
I think that's what took out our cucumbers. And I really think that the only way that we can really get past it without fungicide is to just succession plant, grow with the acceptance that the cucumbers are going to die after their first flush, which at least we got a first flush of cucumbers. We got a good few cucumbers off every plant. So I'm not upset with that. You know what I mean? If we could have like by this time have another like 6-inch cucumber to pop in the ground, you know, we'd have another round before the end of fall. It'd be no problem. And they wouldn't get Septora. They'd be strong enough, healthy enough. And like the cannabis is, we just fed another microbe tea, or we fed another compost tea a couple days ago. Our wedding is Saturday, and we're trying to have the ground and garden nice and lush and green. So I figured, well, hey, Monday's probably what day was it? Saturday. Saturday's probably 1 week out is a good time to do a compost tea. So we started brewing, you know, Thursday or Friday, and then Friday, Saturday we watered it all in, and by hand. Some C90, some BioLive, some Coast of Maine compost, and some molasses. Brewed it all up for 30 hours and watered it in. And all the cannabis seems to be nothing aside from like some inner leaves, you know, with a couple little spots and stuff. All the plants look great. They don't seem to be getting affected by the Septora. Most of the tomatoes, you know, from where there's poor airflow up are great. It's just where there's poor airflow that's being affected by the Septora. So it's purely environmental. It's out there, and you can see where the plants are so healthy that they don't want to be affected by it. Except the cucumbers got taken out. I'm a little upset how badly the cucumbers got taken out, but that's just something that we'll have to learn to manage.
It was in a new space though, so I
Just
don't
go in there, spray them.
Septora.
Yeah, I would move. I would, if I would to do another succession, I would just try to find another spot too, because the spores of the Septora are going to be around in that soil probably. Just go over that with
for at least 3 years. There's going to be no avoiding it. And I mean, it doesn't.
Well, I would spray it with sulfur, and that might be enough to wipe them out. And,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we're
It'll
still
sit over winter that way.
we're not trying to bring in any inputs. That's a problem. So we're trying to do this thing without any sulfur, without any. We could try to use some salt. I know that if we have
It's just a mineral. You're just spraying a mineral on it.
will be a lot. Well, that's what I mean. Organic certification will allow sulfur spray, but
so there's something that we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try to do a lot of brassicas in these areas next year because they help remediate that.
Yeah, brassicas help remediate Septora.
So we're gonna do a lot of broccoli. Like it's just in these a couple places that we think we
include it into crop rotation. So after tomatoes, grow broccoli, and then before tomatoes, grow broccoli. We really like chop and drop. It's difficult to prune our tomatoes and have to take all of that tomato biomass over to a separate hot compost or a burn pile or something like that. I'd rather just drop it in place and really. Look, man, our neighbors could have Septora on their tomatoes, and we're going to get it inevitably. I feel like it's inevitable. Like it's in the air, the spores are just around, and once it's in the soil, it's there for 3 years. So it's a very, very difficult thing to avoid. I think, especially in a subdivision like we have, where there's just so much, so much just and so I think the best bet is to just learn how to kind of live with it and to grow around it and to work. If we have to go a year without growing tomatoes, I guess that's what we'll do. But I think that the best bet is to always move your tomato patch around. Similarly with your cucumbers and the sunflower thing's tough because I love growing sunflowers everywhere and they get them. And I like using the stalks in tandem with composting the garden bed spaces. So, I mean, this is all a really tough thing. It's kind of like it's a balance of what do I want to do? Do I want the minerals from the sunflower stalks or do I want to battle Septora? And sometimes I want both. And I think that just high doses of lactobacillus, that lactic acid, EM1, compost teas, just really healthy plants in general.
We are still having very good harvests, though. Like it's not we're like the plants are still healthy.
It's not affecting the fruit.
It's late in the season, so they're starting to.
It's not affecting the flowers of anything.
I'm confused.
I think the wetness and the hot temperatures have been really helpful for that to spread the Septora this year. I had somebody DMing me and they had it in their cannabis, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's easy to catch on your cannabis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Outdoors, it's pretty unheard of indoors, but outdoors.
Oh, yeah, really... indoors. Yeah. I'd hope you don't get it indoors unless you're bringing it in on your.
So you've brought in seeds, right? You've brought in all this mulch. You've brought in stuff to brew teas, I assume. But why won't you bring in something like nematodes or a fungicide that's like OMRI listed or something like that to help battle this type of stuff?
Well, I would bring it because if I bring in nematodes or something, that's going to offshoot the natural balance of all the other predators and stuff that's already out there. So I don't want to bring in any predators, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Okay, what about a spray that's like an OMRI listed, fungicide?
We're trying to do this no spray. Better than organic gardening. It's all closed loop. The idea is to not bring in any inputs at all.
What if it was just hydrogen peroxide and peracetic acid?
Don't Russ. Stuff. I mean, I'll use bleach or whatever to clean my tools, and, stuff like that. But I don't want to put anything in the ground or affect the biology.
Like vinegar. We've talked about using
vinegar. We talk about using vinegar on weeds.
This stuff smells like vinegar.
How about
we don't
want
to get anything into the soil because we know these other methods work. So, working with these things is not really necessary to have to do that. Even if we have to grow twice as much to harvest half as much,
Mm-hmm.
That's
I feel that. Yeah, I've been dealing with it as well myself. It's a nasty thing. I know. Rascal Farmer. I think he's the first one that kind of educated me on it through a lot of his Instagram posts. I know he's dealt with it. I think you've got the right idea with succession planting and things like that. I hate to say it, but I'd be curious to know if the mulch was the source of it or something like that.
No, we've had it for years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've had Septora for years. I mean,
it's nasty, man.
I don't think you can avoid it being in a subdivision.
I mean, I've even seen it on some of my trees and stuff. It's just geez, what do you do?
Spores, it's not just in the soil. I mean, once it's in the leaf, it's it's everywhere, and then the more soil. And
I think if you can find it a little bit early, you just rip those leaves off. You get them as far away as possible, and then you spray with some sulfur.
So.
Do plants just naturally die off though? Is it not just natural for plants to start dying?
It is natural, but not early.
Not from the cycle.
Like outside, it's still pretty much like a veg room out there for vegetables, and they should be until you get to frost temperatures. They should be out there just doing their thing and living and feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
but when these temperatures start dropping, the rain all the time, this just breeds mold.
Yeah, that's why our cash crop would never be squash or anything like that. Spray free. You know what I mean? I wouldn't suggest if you're trying to do a spray free, better than organic style garden. you can't have these crops that are susceptible to powdery mildew, squash borer beetles, and even I'd say beans is a tough one too because the Japanese beetle population gets so intense.
Oh, it was insane this year. Oh my god, so many.
They just
corn is
are
difficult
gone
because
now.
of the earwig population, but I mean everything's manageable to an extent. But like the big thing is the big thing that the only thing that we use inputs for is our seed starts because we just started with our chickens. We don't have fertility here. You know what I
That
mean?
reminds me, I wanted to share with you guys. I saw a thing on, it had been Instagram, but have you seen the Japanese beetle trap? Have you seen
We
those?
use them. Yeah, we use them.
Okay, I saw they take their Japanese beetle trap, and when it's full of like a bunch of Japanese beetles, they take it over to the little outdoor run for the chickens, and there's like a little bucket. I don't know. There was like a shallow dish or something, water, so that they just dump it in the water, and they just fills up that whole thing full of the beetles floating on the water, and the chickens bob for beetles. They just go nuts for them. I was like, well, that's a good use of it.
Yeah, that's why we got it. We got it so we could feed those things to our chickens.
At first, they were like, "What is this? Like, you're just giving me bugs," and now it's like their favorite.
They're still moving. Ew.
What's
and they're
gross
like in
about
gross water.
Is it's been raining so much, so they're just beetles soaking in gross ass water. And then
Fermented beetles.
you get a whole bunch.
Yeah, you're saying we lost the art.
Hey, at least the beetles are dead.
Yeah,
beetles are at least dead.
We didn't have problems with Japanese beetles so much this year, although we usually have them real bad on our raspberries. We just didn't see a ton of them, but cucumber beetles we did have. So I actually ordered a cucumber beetle trap along with some nematodes my last order and hung that thing up, and it was like immediate, just covered in beetles and flies, I guess, too, from chicken shit. Thank you very much.
So
you mean nutrients?
Yeah, on my deck.
Well, you can scrape it.
So I guess to explain ourselves a little bit further, and for Girl, you probably have a lot of people wondering why we won't use some of these even Omri listed certified products. Is if you think about some things, neem oil and pyrethrin. God, what is the other one? I could probably go grab it right now. I have a bottle over in there. Spinosad. Yeah, spinosad. All that stuff's Omri listed. And a lot of organic gardeners use that stuff, and at Whole Foods, most of the food probably has all that shit on it. You know what I mean? Nonetheless, using that stuff disrupts the ecosystem. It not only kills the pests or the pathogens that might affect, but it also affects beneficials, right? So I don't really believe I don't really believe in a sterile system outdoors. So to completely get rid of the bad stuff, will get rid of the good stuff in turn, and where I believe that having that bad stuff keeps the good stuff around. So it's not always a bad thing to have the bad stuff. If we didn't have aphids, we may not have predators. So I don't care if I see some aphids in the garden, as long as I'm getting fruit production, and the fruit never has aphids on it. It's only the leaf matter that I'm not harvesting has aphids, and it's rarely the leafy greens that I'm actually harvesting that have aphids. I don't see aphids on my lettuce. I'll see it on, maybe I'll see it on some dill, or I'll see it on something else, or a different type of I will see it on some cannabis sometimes, or I'll see it on broccoli, but I'm not necessarily harvesting the broccoli stalks, and I'll spray them off of it. That's what's nice about aphids. Some of these are even easier to manage. What's really nice is I'm always seeing parasitic wasps flying in. And what they're going to do is they're laying their eggs inside of aphids and inside of worms and all these other things. So without any bad bugs to have for the parasitic wasps to lay their eggs in, there would be no reproductive cycle of the parasitic wasp. So I like to think of things like that. And if I was spraying spinosad, I may spray off the wasp and I might get that out of the system. There are biological methods of re-amending this, not re-amending, but remediating the soil. We only have 1 minute left. Remediating the soil to get rid of things. But yeah, man, like, you just have to acknowledge the fact sometimes that, like, we live in a zone and a location that gets too much moisture to grow zucchini all year long up until our freeze date. We're going to get powdery mildew. And unless we're growing a strong, healthy plant, it's going to succumb to powdery mildew. Now, our zucchini right now is 15 feet long. And it's all right. It's 12 feet. It's fucking huge. You know what I mean? And it has some powdery mildew, but it's not succumbing to it. And the zucchini fruits themselves, what we want is beautiful and harvestable. So whether or not the plant dies, we could always start another plant. But again, grow it's in your zone.
Hey man,
Like,
I agree. Each grower's got their own philosophy. All I'm saying is, hydrogen peroxide and peracetic acid is just like oxygen and like one hydrogen, one carbon. It's not too much,
Right? Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. But then again, I'm going to be spraying off beneficials as well.
Cheers, dude.
Well, everyone, have a good night. Think
Cheers,
about your
all.
sprays, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, everybody.
Keep
Peace
growing.